So I've got a couple of questions for you, just to make sure that you're in the right place here. So do you have readings for your students? Do you ever wonder if your students are reading everything you assign? Are you wondering if the library can provide access in e-format to your assigned readings? Something particularly important these days. Are you hoping to integrate your reading list in eClass? Well, have we got the tool for you? So the library's new reading list service is based on a tool called Talus Aspire. It's originally from the UK, and we are the first library in Canada bringing this tool to you. Students want easy access to a rich set of resources for their courses. Faculty want to be able to easily communicate with the library, identify the right resources, and currently e-access, of course, is extremely important. So this is why we're now offering instructors to develop their reading list through this new service. You are able to integrate this reading list in your eClass, and the bookmark tool is super easy to use to add readings to your list. Most people love it so much that it's hard to stop bookmarking more items. The analytics part of the service allows you to see if there are any issues with your resources and the number of clicks on a resource and the types of intentions your students are assigning to your readings. The library staff will also review your list, make any adjustments necessary. We'll check with the acquisitions department if we need to purchase an item or an e-format. So let's have a look at a little video here that we did up so we can make sure that you know how to get set up and started on your list. So this will be Meredith just going through kind of how to register as a faculty member.
Hi folks, I'm Meredith and I'm going to run you through the new course materials software that we are rolling out on campus. So to get started, I'm going to show you where to find everything. So this is the course materials page and we want tools for instructors. On tools for instructors, you will find the registration form here, and you want to sign up for this service in order to gain access to the software, and then that connects with eClass later. After you fill out the form, someone in the library accepts it, and then they send you an invitation to become a list publisher. So the title will be this. And in here, you'll see you can get further assistance on this webpage that we'll share with you. And also, we welcome your feedback at coursemat@ualberta.ca. So let's click this link to accept our invitation. We do want to accept this role. Push accept. Go to homepage. So with the instruction videos, just click this, and it takes you to this page where we signed up for the service. And here are the steps to get you going. These videos are super helpful and got me up and running in no time. You can sign in to this service to fiddle with your list from this page as well with step 2, sign into the course materials. So I click that, takes me here. I'm already signed in. So now I'm going to show you how to make or use the bookmark tool. So we go to My Bookmarks, and then Install Bookmark button. From here, you click Next, and then you take this and drag it up to your toolbar of your browser. Add to Bookmarks. Click Next, close, and now you're all done. Now you have the Add to Bookmarks, and you can cruise the catalog and add anything to your bookmarks list. Now I've got the bookmarks thing on the top of my window here, and say I'm browsing for some books and I'm doing a class on Black Lives Matter and I want to make a reading list. So I see this from the library blog and I'm like, yeah, I want to add that to my reading list. I click Add to Bookmark. It takes all the metadata from here, and then I say, oh, get out of here, create. And then that should have added it to my bookmarks bar. And so I refresh my bookmarks page, and look it, there it is. Hurrah! There's lots of different things that work with this platform. So you can make bookmarks from YouTube even. So I click Add to Bookmarks, and my bookmarks bar that you can't see on this thing, that pulls the metadata, and then I click Create after that goes away. Bloop. And there now I have a link to put in my reading list of this YouTube video. To find or to bookmark a journal article, I'm just going to run you through that. This is the one I want, so I'm going to click on this. And then I'm going to go back up to my bookmarks bar and click Add to Bookmarks. It pulls all of the info again. And then I click Create. Okay, so now we're going to create lists. So you go up to My Lists, and you'll see that there's no list to display right now, but I'm going to create one. So we go to Create New List. So for this, you want to include your course number, and since I'm not teaching anything, I'm just going to make one up. So BLM 320 Five Lives Matter. And then within the hierarchy, here's where you can type your course code to find it in eClass, and it will help them link. So again, I don't have one, but if I search right now, we get this. So you would find your course code there. And then term fall 2020, create list. Done. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to add resources. There's an easy way to do this is by adding resource, and then we take any of our recently bookmarked things, and we can also search through the catalog. And that would be up here. So for the title you're looking for, it looks it up. This is the one I'm looking for. Oh, good. Electronic book text. Here we go. And so now that is added. And then I say, want to add the rest of these. Say I want to split it up for week 1 and week 2. Let's do week 2. This will be week 1. And now we're rolling. Okay, once I feel that this is ready to go, I click Publish. It's queued for publish. And then once it's sent in, it goes to library staff, and they will review the list to ensure that items can be found in an online format where possible. In case you miss that, or there's some options that they know about in the background, we'll take good care of you. Don't worry about it.
So I hope you enjoyed that little video. It quickly shows you the things you can do with Talus Aspire. But there's a lot more that you can do, and you can just explore as you go. There's lots of video tutorials that kind of go through things, and we'll be getting some written instructions for you as well. So we'll be posting that on that Tools for Instructors page. So let's have a look at recapping some of those advantages of the system. If you can throw those slides back up, Kim. All right, so the benefits for faculty, being able to control your list and resources you want to use. This means that you can add things whenever you'd like. So maybe something isn't working, you can throw in a different reading. You can add readings as necessary, and you don't have to request this through the library to be done. It's all kind of self-serve. It's great. And whenever you add things, we will double check and make sure that it's working correctly. So you do have that check as well. And then you can link to online articles, as you saw, websites, videos, ebooks, everything. So it's really easy to use. As you saw in the video, you can just go to any website and grab any resource there. So, and I've seen faculty already doing that. They're just going to a publisher's website and they're like, hey, that's the item I want. They click add to my bookmark and it's in their reading list. The analytics and data on list usage and student interactions is also very handy, and will allow you to study your engagement with your students as well. So just an added benefit from this kind of a tool. We will definitely try to purchase any items that are not in our collection. So simply by doing your reading list, when you are ready to publish it, we will get your reading list and review it, but it will be live as you publish it. So we will do the things after, like checking to see if everything is okay and whether any of the resources need to be purchased. We will do those checks as well. So great. So that's kind of it for the benefits for faculty. We can go to the next slide. So benefits for students, definitely an easy one-stop access to course readings. So it's integrated with eClass, so very handy for the students to get all their information right there. They can also organize readings, prioritize, set goals for their readings. So they may decide to say, these readings I really want to read. Other readings, they're optional, might not have time for it, so they may decide not to read them. It gives you an understanding of how the students are using your list of readings as well. So the other benefit is links to live library holdings, as well as guidance notes from faculty. So the library holdings will show directly in the reading list service. So that's a really added benefit there. And you can add notes to each of the readings to kind of say like, this reading will be really important for a midterm or the next class, just so that they have an understanding of why they really should be reading the things that you're suggesting. So it's really nice to be able to communicate all that to your students. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kim Frail, and she'll share a little bit more about how to integrate your reading list with eClass.
Okay, thanks, CJ. So in the first video that we looked at, we walked you through the process of registering, signing up, and creating your list. And the great news is you can now take that list once you've created it and pop it right into your eClass course. So it's super convenient. And we have had one question. We already have a presence you may be aware of in eClass called the Library Resources block. It's in all eClass courses. And we have had the question, what is the difference between this new tool and the block? I think the advanced functionality is starting to become clear that CJ has just outlined, but the easiest way to tell you that is to show you. So let's jump in to an eClass course here and take a look. So for example, so first of all, the block is, as you can see, it's always on the right-hand side of the course. It can only live in the right-hand column. It links to key library services, such as our chat service, the Ask Us button there. Librarians also often add a link to a subject guide, such as the case here, that features databases and other important information and general resources for their class. So it's kind of like your virtual shelf, if you will, to browse. You can imagine why it's important to have these things available in eClass for students during COVID and online learning, especially new ones that have never set foot on our physical campuses or our physical library. So it's a little nice to-go window. Whereas the reading list tool that we're talking about today is a way to share individual course readings and other resources like videos, as we saw, that are selected by the instructor. And location-wise, it's actually in the middle. When you add it to eClass, it's in the middle or the main section of the page. So those are the main distinguishing features there. So let's get to it and add a list. So for this first example, I'm going to add a complete reading list. So I'm just going to click on, and hopefully you can see the screen here. Hopefully everything is large enough. I'm going to click on Add an Activity or Resource. And from this list, we're looking for the open book icon here, Library Reading Lists. So I'll select that one and click on Add. Okay. In this case, I'm adding the whole list, and here you can name it so that it fits into the context of your particular course. So let's say I would say Course Readings Winter 2019. I'm using a test version of a course, that's why it's 2019. So I've named it. Now I need to go down and click on Save and Display, the middle green button. Okay, and it's passed me through. Here's the magic part. So you can see it's already populated actually my course. So as soon as I start moving my cursor around here and typing, it drops down the available list for this particular course at L305. It's smart enough to know which course I was in. Here's an important point. When you are naming your list, as we saw in that video, if it's a multi-section course, you want to follow the naming convention here. So you see this EdL 305 LEC N02. So you want to use the actual course name, code, and section number if it's a multi-section course, because when you go to retrieve your list, as we're doing right now, then it's very clear to you, this is my list. I'm teaching N02, and this is the reading list for my course. So I know that that one is mine. So I will click on that one. So up comes magically my list. I take a look in my preview mode. I'm scrolling through here. I see the bookmarks that I've selected. If it looks good to me, I click on Save. And now I'm going to go back. If I want to view it to see how it looks in my course, I can use the breadcrumbs up here. I'd added it to January 10th to the first class, the entire reading list. So I go back here and I can see, here's my little icon for course readings. And when I click on it, it brings up that list. And these lists are automatically updated. So when you're adding new items, they're added to the list as well. So let's look at, that was a complete reading list for a course. But in the video, you also saw how to break it up into sections. And I think many of you would be interested in linking to sections. So I'm going to jump into another course and show you an example of that. So let's say on class 1, I want to add all the readings for week 1. So once again, I'm going to turn editing on, as I've already done here. I'm going to add an activity or resource. So again, looking for that open book icon, library reading lists. Then I'm going to click on Add. Okay, in this case, again, I can name it however I choose to fit the context. So I'm going to say course readings, in this case, week 1, let's say. So save and display again. Okay, and again, it is actually pulled. In this case, it's a different course. It has correctly identified my course. It knows which course I'm in. And I'm looking at the list. So this would be the list that I created for this particular course. I select it. And because when I created this list, I did as Meredith did in that video, I created sections. I see the sections are available here in this other drop-down menu on the right under the list. So I'm going to select week 1. And I get the little preview of the readings I have already selected. I click on Save. And here they are. And this is exactly what the student view would look like. When they click on that open book icon from eClass, this is what they will see. It's kind of embedded within the eClass course. They still have ways of navigating back, and they can directly link, access those readings that you've selected or other resources such as videos, etc. And if I want to go back, again, I can use this breadcrumb at the top, or if you have your side menu open, that would work too. Okay, and you can see here I've got that open book course readings for week 1. Videos and tip sheets, CJ has already mentioned, these are going to be available on our Tools for Instructors page. So you will have videos and also step-by-step instructions. So for example, I already have one open here of a tip sheet that kind of runs through what we just did to help you with that in the process of adding. So just as a way of conclusion before we open up the Q&A, we want to say too to stay tuned. I know there'll be future CTL sessions on leveraging this tool as part of your pedagogical process. There are many, many advanced bells and whistles and features that we didn't have time to talk about. And we'll mention again that Tools for Instructors page that CJ had alluded to down at the bottom.